Hello everyone, welcome back to One English Cloud. Today, you're going to enjoy a funny and exciting folktale named The Brave Potter. It's the story of a simple village potter whose life suddenly changes after one surprising night. So without wasting any time, let's get started. The evening sky was covered by thick black clouds, and a strong wind shook the branches. Lightning flashed with blinding light. Soon, it was raining heavily. An old tiger, wet and cold, ran through the rain. He was looking for a shelter. He saw an old hut. With a sigh of relief, he crawled under the thatched roof. Before he could nod off, he heard a woman's angry voice. "How terrible! I would rather meet a tiger in the forest than have this leak in my house," she complained. The tiger was terrified. He wondered what a leak was. He thought it must be more dangerous and stronger than him. That afternoon, a potter had come home, tired and thirsty, and drank much palm wine. The more he drank, the better he felt. He drank until he no longer felt tired. Suddenly, he remembered his donkey was tied under a tree. When he found the animal gone, he grumbled, "When I catch him, I'll give him a good beating." The drunken potter stumbled through the wet forest, getting angrier and angrier. In the dark, he saw an animal near the woman's hut and shouted, "There he is, the stupid animal." He did not notice the difference between the donkey and a tiger. He kicked and beat the sleeping tiger, jumped onto its back, and bound it with a thick rope. The terrified tiger thought that the potter was the leak. He shivered and allowed himself to be led home. When they reached the potter's hut, the potter bound him with an iron chain to a tree. The next morning, the villagers looked in amazement at the tiger tied to the tree. They praised his courage, for this tiger had eaten many of their goats and buffaloes. The simple potter did not understand. He thought he had only brought his donkey home. When he finally realized it was a tiger, he was shocked. However, everyone believed he was just being modest, and he became famous as the brave potter. Years later, a war broke out in that region. The king needed a hero to lead his army. The same brave potter was made the general of the army on the minister's advice. The potter was frightened. He had never carried a sword nor ridden a horse. On the day of the battle, the potter was so nervous. His wife tied his feet to the stirrups and tied him to the saddle with rope. But the big brown horse was impatient. It jumped free and galloped away with the potter hanging like a sack of rice. As the horse raced across the open fields toward the enemy's camp, the potter grabbed a branch of a young tree to stop himself. Instead, the tree was pulled out of the ground. An enemy sentry saw him coming with a tree in one hand and thought, "That must be the general who captured a tiger with his bare hands. He's a giant." The frightened soldiers fled, and their king wrote a letter begging for peace. The puzzled potter walked back to the city. The king was full of praise, but the potter told his wife he would never ride a horse again. The cheering crowds called him truly a humble and brave man because he chose to walk like an ordinary man. The potter lived the rest of his life in peace, never needing to work again. And that's the story of The Brave Potter. We hope you enjoyed this funny and exciting folktale. Now it's time for quiz. To check how well you understood the story, we've added a quiz in the description box. Go ahead and attempt the quiz to test your comprehension. If you enjoyed this story and want to learn more, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to One English Cloud. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next video.